Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Purpose-Driven Developer Academy. We're going to get started in just 1 minute. Alrighty, well, hello, my name is Janicia C. I'm the Adult Services Manager at Louisville Central Community Center. Again, we want to welcome you all here to the Purpose-Driven Developer Academy. So we're going to go ahead and get into a brief overview of what you all can expect for this session. Of course, I'm doing the welcome and overview right now. So we have a few ways for you all to connect during this session. If you all look in your panel, there is a chat function. So as we're talking, if you all have any questions or would like to connect, please ask those questions in the chat. Additionally, we do have a Q&A function. So if you have questions that you would like answered live, then we will get to those at the end during a Q&A session. We have several different guest speakers this evening, and so I want to jump right into that by first introducing the President and CEO of Louisville Central Community Centers, Kevin E. Fields.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Janicia. My name is Kevin Fields, President and CEO at Louisville Central Community Center, and I am extremely excited to have this information session where we provide you with an overview of what is going to happen in our community over the next 2 to 3 months in regard to the Purpose-Driven Developer Academy. This initiative is one that we believe is long overdue in our community, but I'm so excited that all of the many stakeholders that we have organized to present this academy are showing up with excitement and showing up with a sense of, this is certainly purpose-driven and certainly needed in our community. So what we're doing is addressing a need in our community. I think many of us who are concerned about our community, especially west side of downtown West Louisville, we realize that there's a lot of work that needs to be done to rebuild our neighborhoods. And so we're in a season as a community where it's really time to make things happen. And that's all predicated based on what's happening in the big scheme of things with our state government having taken interest in West Louisville and making targeted investments in the 9 neighborhoods of West Louisville, but also our city government for a long time has been working to address a lot of what plagues our community in terms of vacant and abandoned properties. And so we're just extremely, extremely excited to bring the Purpose-Driven Developer Academy in response to that long-standing need. As we were looking at this idea, it really emerged and it really came clear as we were hearing from many concerned citizens as well as many leaders in our community. We were concerned about, some of the target investments not necessarily being there to empower us as a community. And I'm talking specifically about the African-American community in Louisville. And we've seen time and time again where things that are brought to our community based on our needs actually go to empower others from an economic standpoint. And so we're in a position where we want to take on that challenge to change the trajectory and create a new paradigm. And what I like to say is we are building a community of community builders through this process. So I'm really, really excited about that. As we were planning this project, we took on a global search of what's out there to organize around. What kinds of best practices we see a need, we believe we got an idea, but how do we begin to organize and build the curriculum and the infrastructure necessary to do that? So we've searched far and wide, and we're just so heavenly blessed that we have met Dominique Higgins. Dominique Higgins is a broker. She's has a national perspective, and not being of our community, but being of the United States of America. She hails from Southern California and has been around the country, and is from a family of developers. And so when we learned about her, how to become a real estate developer handbook, which is based on proven performance as a practitioner, not just based on a lot of theory and concept, but based on proven performance. How do you become a developer when you're looking to learn how to do that? And so we're excited to have her on board. I do want to introduce Dominique, but first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you who are attending tonight for taking the time to explore this opportunity and to enroll in this program. This has been somewhat unprecedented, the level of response that we've got. Nearly 90 people have signed up for this course. And one of the things that's really exciting to us at LCCC, the data says that over 90% of those of you who have signed up, this is your first experience in doing any type of service with us. So we realize that we're building new markets in terms of our clientele, and we're really excited about that. So our team is fired up, we're ready to go. And I just want to present to you first, Dominique Higgins, the author of the book, How to Become a Real Estate Developer, and who we built our curriculum around. And she's agreed to be a part of the team and provide her expertise and provide her oversight and helping us to bring this forward. I want to ask her to speak next, and then we're going to hear from our curriculum leader, Tiffany Williams with Eternal Realty. And we're going to hear more from her about how she's going to, again, be a part of our team and take us through this curriculum. So Dominique, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you again for having me. It's really exciting to be here, and I'm very excited to hear that all of you guys are here to join us because, like Kevin said, this is definitely things that I am experiencing on an everyday basis. So I am a real estate agent / broker here in Southern California, and I've had the opportunity to work with many, many different investors, from investors and developers who do everything from flipping homes to building 4-unit apartment buildings brand new that they sell for $2 million, $3 million, so on and so forth. And as he said, I was seeing a lot of gaps in terms of what people thought about what it's required to become a developer. And that's kind of why I created this kind of workbook around it, just brass nuts. This is what you need to do, because I feel like a lot of people kind of get lost in all the different technical jargon and so on and so forth. And I think that this program couldn't come at a better time. And I say that because right now, everywhere across the entire country, there is no housing inventory. And so by taking on this task of knowing what it takes to actually develop properties, you're really putting yourself above everybody else out there. Because, and I'll tell you this from my personal experience too, there are Wall Street companies, there are private equity companies, there are banks, pension funds, all these big guys who have the money, and even still, they haven't really cracked the code when it comes to developing real estate on a mass scale, which means that if you take everything here and you run with it, you can make a lot of money. And not even that though, you can have a serious impact on your local community. And I think that's something that I really want to embed with you guys. I'm excited to be here. Again, I'll be dropping in on a weekly basis just to check in if you have any questions, and also just making sure that we stay on track. So I think that wraps it up for me.
Thank you, Dominique. And certainly we're going to ask you to hang out with us for the balance of this session, because I know that as we get into Q&A and just discussion in general, that there's a lot that we need for you to contribute to the discussion. But Next, let me introduce Tiffany Williams, or reintroduce her to some who may already know her. She's well established here in Louisville, Kentucky as a real estate broker and the founder and owner of Eternal Realty. She has a very unique role in this community as a leader because she's currently the president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, the Louisville chapter. So we have our Louisville NAREB president who has agreed to be our lead facilitator of this curriculum, and that for that I'm eternally grateful. No pun, Tiffany. But I just want to thank you. She's also a tenant of the Old Walnut Street campus and has her business office located with us. So we're really excited about the work that she's doing with us and the work that she's doing throughout the community. So Tiffany, I just want to give you the opportunity to introduce or reintroduce yourself to others that are here.
Thank you so much. And I am truly excited about this project. It's something like we said and have been talking about in the community that is truly needed. We do not have a lot of developers, African-American developers, and there's a lot that's going on in our community. So we felt the need that, you know what, at least let us find out who is interested and give basic information to get people started so we'll have a foundation that we can grow on. And it was just wonderful to see Mr. Fields take that, run with it, get our partners together, because we do have a lot of partners that are invested in this, that wants to see this develop and grow and be successful. So definitely I'm just extremely excited to be a part of it and watch what we can do. You know, it's one thing to ask people to help us, but it's one thing to try to help ourselves as well. So like I said, this is just the first step. This is development series. It's the first one we're doing. And if this is successful, we definitely going to continue to branch out and continue to help and see where else is needed and bring more to the community, more information, more resources to help us further along. And like I said, with National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is NAREB, that is definitely our cause, and our mission is to have democracy in housing. And, you know, to this day, we still fighting that cause because you can see it's very one-sided and uneven, but this is one way that we can continue to break through that and help develop our own communities and take back what we need to.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I know as our leader that our community is going to hear a lot from you. I just wanted to just have another wrap-up comment, and I'm going to give it back to Janicia, who is as she introduced herself, the manager of our adult services division, and who is principally responsible for the delivery of this program. And I've got her back, but she's going to be working with the team and making sure that everything is orchestrated here. But let me just, before I turn it back to Janicia, just let everybody know here. And again, I just want to say thank you. And I won't say thank you enough. I really appreciate the response that we've gotten from the community. But I just want to share from a personal perspective why I'm extremely passionate about this project. First of all, I'm trained as a civil engineer, and I've been involved in development since I began my career over 40 years ago. Don't want to date myself, but been involved with everything from municipal projects, helped to design and build our new airport system when we built a new airport terminal in the 80s, right out of college. Helped to, redevelop public housing communities from old conventional public housing to mixed income neighborhoods. Since a couple of projects under my belt there, and has gotten into organizational leadership for the purpose of really having a platform to really do some innovative initiatives that really empower our community. And this particular one, I believe is needed. And I believe you do too, and that's why you're here. But I just want to plant a seed with you and just say that part of my vision here is that we build a community of community builders, and we organize ourselves around community building or rebuilding in some cases. I know that many of you are already doing it, but I think this is a clearinghouse, kind of a one-stop shop for all things related to development. And so I just want to declare this as not only a needed initiative, but also an initiative that's already very successful. And so I just want to plant a seed that, you know, when we get into mid-April at the other side of this project, as we're starting it today, but, you know, we're going to be at it, you know, make the next 2.5 months at least. And when we come back as a community in mid-April, we want to have you as clients of this initiative, as developers, emerging developers graduating from this initiative. We want you to be able to bring our community very powerful testimonies for what it has done for you and has empowered you to do for our community. And so I was talking to our staff earlier today, and when we wrap up this program in mid-April, we're going to be, as a community, that'll be the startup of our Derby Festival. And so we want to have our own rendition of a Derby, a pre-Derby, a pre-Thunder event is what I'm claiming as a part of our wrap-up celebration for this event. So I just want to plant that seed with you and with our team that I'm declaring success, and I'm already ready to celebrate. I know we got a long way to go, but we're going to get there. So I want to give it back to Janicia, and again, thank everybody for being a part of tonight's information session.
Thank you, Mr. Fields, and thank you, Tiffany, and to Dominique, of course, for being a part of this initiative. So I will go into a little bit more detail just about some of the course logistics, and then I will pass it back to your facilitator to kind of go into more about some of your topics that you will be covering. So as far as the course information that you'll need to know, so this course will meet every Monday and Wednesday from 5 to 7 o'clock via Zoom. Some of the information that you'll need to know is that there is a required course material, which you will receive a syllabus after this information session. In that you will see that there is a link to access any of your course documents, such as your syllabus, any PowerPoints that Tiffany will be presenting on, any handouts as well, all will be housed there, as well as a link to the course material. Again, the course location is Zoom. It is going to be virtual for the duration of this training. So if you all have any questions just about some of the course logistics and how to access some of the information, please feel free to email me. I'm going to drop my email in the chat just to make sure that everyone is connected to that. So now I will turn it back over to Tiffany to kind of talk more about some of the topics that you can expect for this course.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, yes, so we're gonna get it started. And as you see, we are definitely serious about this project, and we want each one of you to be successful, be able to ask questions, and use us as a resource for building this program. So to start off our first week, which is this week, we'll be meeting today, and then the next meeting will be Monday. And it's just basically getting started. You know, what does it mean to be a developer? Setting your goals, what is going to be your niche? So we're going to be talking about all those things in our first week, because if you don't know what you want to do and where you want to go, then that's definitely the first step. And your first homework assignment is to figure that out. And we're going to be talking about more, what does that mean and how can you get to that level. Week 2, building your team. Is extremely important to have a good team around you, and how to pick that team. What are you looking for in a team? And that's going to be based off too, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Because when you build your team, you don't need everybody doing the same thing that you're doing. You need somebody that's going to play to your weaknesses to help your team. So we'll get more into your teams, and also talk more about your niche and what field of area that you really want to develop. And then we're going to go on into week 3, which is secure your financing, locking down your money partners. Ooh, yes, money is a factor, and you do have to have some skin in the game as well, but also looking to see where else can you get funds, what programs are out there, what are your resources, what is the city offering, what are hard money lenders offering, what is your conventional financial institutes offering, can you partner with other people, can you partner with family members, things of that nature. So we're going to be going really deep into the money piece of it and financing the programs that you're looking to do. And how do you determine how much do you need? And what are the materials and how much the costs are and things of that nature. And then week 4, purchasing your first project. It is extremely important to think about the project that you want to do. And by that time, after we've talked about the financing, after we talked about the niche, after we talked about building your team, then you're going to be looking actually for that project that meets your standards and what you want to do. And it's okay that if you started off with one thing, but then after doing research, homework, and looking at your financials, that you might want to change that project. So it's all about keeping an open mind, being flexible about how you go about this project, but understanding that it's still what the main goal is to take a piece of property and develop it into what you would have it to be. Week 5, developing the project from the ground up. So a lot of information there. And as we go through these weeks, we will have guest speakers that are speaking on different topics that can be used as a resource. Also, we're looking to have them possibly mentor at the end as well. So we're not just going to leave you out there after the couple of weeks and then you're still wondering, okay, how do I get started or whatever. We definitely want to provide resources for you so you can go back, take a look, research, read, and contact those people that have been instrumental in this program. So then we're going to come on into week 6, developing the project. So that's where your team is going to come in at, your contractors, your finance people, anyone that you have put around you in that team. Then you really going to get your hands dirty and start looking at that project and figuring out how do we get this done, what are the steps. Also, how do we get from point A to B and finish up the project? And all the materials that you need, all the financing that you need. So it's definitely going to be hands-on with that. And then, like we talked about, being flexible. So week 7, being flexible, because I guarantee you, no project is going to go the way that you think it's going to go. There are going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some problems, some issues, some things that you did not expect. So when we say be flexible, you definitely have to be flexible and open-minded about the project that you're doing. Not going to say that you won't get frustrated, but we just have to be creative on how to fix the problem, how to fix the issues, who to go to, and making sure that, again, that planning step in the beginning is going to be what makes or break you, because you do have to plan as best that you can for any issues and problems that may arise. So definitely being flexible. And then being flexible with the seller. So as a seller, being flexible as a seller. So once your project is finished, getting it out there on the market, not being too rigid, because the market is changing all the time, every day. Anybody that's in real estate right now knows that it's constantly changing. So you definitely have to be flexible and open-minded about the offers and the deals that you get, and the time. Time is extremely important in real estate. And then our last week is getting ready for the next project. So basically, you finished your project, you're going to take away what worked, what didn't work, what you can do different. If you need to change up what you are doing as far as projects. And then we definitely want to talk a little bit about the practicum, which is applying that to an actual project, getting together. Hopefully you will form partnerships with other people in your class, and you never know, they could become lifelong partners. They could be partners on just 1 or 2 projects, but you're going to have a community that you can actually go to and talk to as you go through these steps. So that is our game plan for this time. And as I said, we'll be going through every single conversation. We will be using the workbook. We will have homework. We will also be having guest speakers and resources for you. So it's going to be some work. So I hope everybody's invested. I hope you're serious about it. And even if you don't want to do the project right now, you're going to have a foundation of what to expect and what you need to do in order to go forward whenever you do that project. One thing I do want to press upon any and everybody is that you do have to invest your resources in this. That means investing your time. That means doing research. That means also any financials that you have, money saved up, 401k, going to family members, things like that or whatever. You have to invest in your project as well. I know we see a lot of stories out there on TV about, oh, you can do it with no money down and you can do this and you can do that. They don't tell you the full story and those hidden costs that's going to come along with that project, but we're going to tell you everything. We're going to let you know exactly from beginning to the end what you need to look for and how you need to plan for it. So again, I am excited about it. And it was a quick overview just of what this curriculum and this project is going to be. So I hope everybody's ready for it. And any questions, we welcome the questions. We want you to participate as well. We want you to be involved as we go through this project. So any questions, any information, if you know something that you can share with the team or whatever, we encourage that. So it is not just me sitting here talking or the speakers or anything like that. This is going to be a very involved project, a very involved class. So get ready, get ready.
Thanks, Tiffany. That's an excellent overview. So I'm just going to launch a quick poll just to kind of see where everyone is as far as knowledge of real estate development. So I'll go ahead and launch as you all are kind of constructing some of your questions that you might have. And it's just really quick, so I'll just go ahead and launch. And then Tiffany, if you want to, we can answer some of the questions live or just kind of discuss what we're seeing as far as the experience. So thank you all to those that are completing the poll that is up right now. If you're on a mobile device, you might have to use your drop-down screen in order to see the poll. So the question is, please rate your current level of experience as a real estate developer. We have about 24% that have much experience, 16%, I'm sorry, that have some experience. We have about 11% that are stating that they have little experience of real estate. And overwhelmingly about 66% that have no experience at all. And so we'll give you all a few more minutes to finish that poll. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end that and just open it back up now to maybe some of our panelists who may have anything that they want to add. Mr. Fields, Dominique, anything else that you all would like to?
Yeah, I can add something here because I think I definitely want to address a popular misconception on two fronts. So Tiffany, you brought it up in terms of doing this all with zero money down. You hear stories on social media how somebody did XYZ, put in no money, and then they made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And honestly, it's 1 in a million, and usually those are deals with the devil, where they do all of the work and they put very little equity, any equity, whether it's money or sweat equity or anything. And sometimes they're not true, sometimes they are, but it's, again, very rare. And I just want to also iterate too, when it comes to, even if you don't have experience in being a real estate developer, you can still make it in this business. It's not, the beautiful part about it is you don't need a degree, you don't need to be a finance guru or anything like that. You just have to have heart and you have to do hard work. That's pretty much it, because some of my past clients, probably my most successful past clients, have been previous police officers who retired and decided to get into real estate development, security guards. I've had janitors who saw what other people were doing, just got into it. So I definitely want to emphasize here that even if you don't have experience, do not let that scare you, please, because it's all about what's in here and how dedicated you are to that vision. Whatever reason is bringing you here to take this course, hang on to that, because just know that if you get all the steps right, it will happen for you. So I just want to emphasize that as well.
And I would just add, certainly, ditto what both Tiffany and Dominique have said about what it's really going to take to be successful. But I just wanted you to know I'm really encouraged by the mixed group that we have. Just a few people with experience, 2 out of 3 no experience at all. I think that's very encouraging, because that means we're tapping into an unmet need, and I'm encouraged by that. So I think, as Dominique said, you don't have to have a lot of experience. You don't have to have a lot of specialized training, because as a leader of a developer project or development, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial, you position yourself as the owner. And so when you get into the team building, all the other subject matter related expertise that your team will need to have, you can bring them on as advisors, as consultants, as just colleagues, team members. And so I just want to encourage you to know, and when I see this data, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by when I look at the analytics and I saw who enrolled. We have a lot of talented people here that are looking for opportunity to be engaged in development. So I'm excited about that. So I just want to encourage you, because this is our information session, although we kick off on Wednesday, just 2 days from today, but I want to encourage you to make the hard decision to commit. And first, it's a commitment of time and engagement, but also there is sweat equity that comes with it. I really want to see at least one real development project emerge out of this first cohort. Now, y'all might think I'm aiming low when I say at least one, because y'all probably thinking, oh, y'all gonna do something. Well, I welcome that energy. But I think that's the thing we want to see is commitment, stay engaged, see it all the way through, and let us see on the other end some real projects emerge. And even if you don't do a real project, when we get into the practical application, we can do a hypothetical model, because it's all about going through the motions to get the experience. And you can always have people that serve as sounding boards giving you feedback on your work. So I'll stop with that particular piece of feedback, Janicia, and give it back to you. And Tiffany, if you want to add something, of course.
Yes, just one other thing. One thing to think about is and I'm gonna challenge each and every person to think about this, especially being in the real estate field. You need to think about what kind of developer do you want to be? And when I say that, I mean, do you want quality, reputation, and to be known in the community as someone to go to develop or buy from? Because there are a lot out there that don't do it right, that cut corners, think they saving $1, or it's all about the dollar. So what we try to instill in everybody, especially with this program, is that we want quality. We want to build your reputation. We want to make sure that you are in it for the longevity. And usually quality wins over quantity when you're talking about real estate and having a reputation, and people know that they can come to you for a quality product. So again, just be thinking about that. You definitely don't want to be the one that just puts lipstick on a pig. And just makes it looks pretty on the outside, but then there's all kind of problems with your project on the inside, and people are complaining, and it's not a great place to live. Because again, the purpose is to enhance our community, to be a place where somebody wants to live and have a place where you would be proud to call your home, or you would be proud to live in. So again, just be thinking about that. Of course, everybody is entitled to do what they want to do, but that's what we try to encourage, is make sure that it is a quality that we are giving to the community, that we are improving lives.
And Carmen, I see that you have your hand up. I do want to introduce my colleague, Carmen Birdsong. She is our Adult Services Coordinator at LCCC. Carmen, did you want to say something?
Think you may need to unmute, Carmen. I think you're muted. We're not hearing you for some reason.
She might be having some technical issues, so we'll come back to you, Carmen, in a little bit. I'm not seeing any questions or comments in the, well, I did see one comment. I want to thank Nakia, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, on sharing your vision with us for what you hope to kind of aspire. Anything else from any of our panelists that we haven't covered today?
I guess I don't have any other comments, but
Oh, there is a question in the Q&A. So Dominique Davis has asked, how many total will there be in the program? So Dominique, if you're asking as far as the class total, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. I'm sorry, you can go ahead, Mr. Fields.
I was just going to ask kind of a process question myself. I'm anxious to engage our community here around these issues, and I know we're using the chat just to kind of get a pulse read on any emerging questions or comments that individuals might have, but there is an option here to unmute our community on having some voice in on this. So I just want to ask that question. Can we consider doing that?
Yes, so if anyone would like to speak, you're more than welcome to use the raise your hand function, and then one of our staff will come to unmute you. As far as the question that was posed in the Q&A, there is no limit as far as the number for this class. This is open to anyone who is welcome to the information and the knowledge that will be presented. All of our recordings will be available for the public to view, and so that is available for anyone.
I do want to echo, I saw Carmen's comment. Thank you, Carmen, for that reminder. I do want to echo that you might find this unusual that a course of this caliber with this many stakeholders and with the level of quality that Tiffany is talking about is offered to our community at no cost to register, no cost to engage. However, there will be some fees, not that we would collect. I'm not, as an organization, looking to collect from our clients on this, but there may be expenses associated with doing the work. You may get into some expenses related to doing a project, for example. And I'm not going to begin to try to say what that might look like, because I'd be getting way ahead of the course in doing that. But one thing for certain that I do want everybody to know that we've been heavenly blessed with having the support of Dominique Higgins and the work that she's done. Likewise with Tiffany Williams. So in Dominique's case, she has written a handbook and it is available. And we're going to give you the link to go out and get it. But we want you to buy it. We want you to buy the handbook. It is an ebook, so you buy it online and it downloads. And anything, Dominic, you want to say about the handbook that for what we're asking our clients to do in terms of purchasing? What will they be getting?
Yeah, that's a great question. So they'll be getting, it's in 3 components. So they'll get just a general ebook, very short, about the 7 simple steps to become a real estate developer. And then they'll also be getting on top of that a more extended version that was inspired by that book. That is a workbook, and it goes through just A to Z, helping people to break down the steps when it comes to what you need to prepare for this process. And that's something that actually forms a skeleton for this course. And so it'll be really helpful to have on hand, because you'll be able to take notes through there, and you'll be able to kind of track for yourself as you go through this course and through this journey. So, and the third component also includes an Excel spreadsheet. It's just the exact same spreadsheet that I use, honestly, to evaluate deals. And so you'll have that on hand, so that when it comes to actually crunching the numbers, you can input those in and you can play with them for your market and be able to kind of see offhand if a deal makes sense or not.
Awesome. So if you all can make that commitment, it has a handsome price. Tell them how much it costs, Dominique.
A whopping $5.
Yeah. So $5 and those informational resources and the tools that come with it, as Dominique described it. Please do that. And Denise, if we can make sure that everybody gets the link to make that. And I would hope that that would be a homework assignment, that by Wednesday we would have had everybody to have done that, to make that purchase.
Yes, so myself and my colleague will be posting the link shortly into the chat. There is another question in the QA. Tiffany, I don't know if you want to take this one. Will the projects be limited to certain areas?
Great question. And no, the projects are not limited at all. These are projects that you yourself will be going out, surveying the land and seeing what you want to do. Actually, these are your projects. So that is something that we're going to take you through the steps and have you think about, what area do you want? What size land do you want? If you're building, or if you're looking just for a house to flip, and we'll be talking about, what does it mean to be a developer? And that encompasses a lot. Just saying, I want to be a developer. What are you developing? What type of housing do you want to develop? But again, it's your project that you're going to go out, you're going to look for, and then bring it back to the table. So no, it's not limited to any certain area. We hope that you do develop in some of the areas that need it the most, but no, definitely not limited.
Thank you. And so both me and my colleague did post the link to the book is in the chat for you all to go and purchase. So that is available for you all now. Any other questions?
Again, I want to thank you guys for being on this call. There is time for questions and comments, and I think we can entertain both in the chat, as well as if you request to be unmuted by raising your hand, we could allow you to have voice on that. We do want to hear from everybody, and I can't imagine with 40 plus in attendance here that at least one person doesn't have a question or two. So we want to invite you to have your questions and comments. And then if you don't have any, I would ask a question of you, and you can comment on it in the chat, or if you want, again, we do have someone has had their hand raised, and we can take that question. Janice, if we could take care of that. Let me see who that is. I can do it if I see who that is. Okay, that's Richard. Okay, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Richard Dean. I'm a real estate broker. My business is on 2417 West Broadway. I have a lot right next door to me that I've purchased. And between my lot of where I'm at and actually the empty lot, I'm looking at putting an eightplex on that lot. Is what my future goal is. So looking at, and that's my start as being a developer. I do flips as well. My last flip is 738 South 43rd Street, if you want to see what kind of work I do. But I want to be able to develop that land and do a multiplex on it. So this is my stab at being a developer versus a flipper.
Tiffany, I don't know if you want to respond. You want to respond to Richard?
Yes, hi Richard, it's Tiff. How you doing? No, that's absolutely excellent, an eightplex. So that is definitely something, a project that we can definitely work with you on, and of course, you know, talk to you about. I'm pretty sure if you already flipping, you already have a lot of your teams together. We'll be bringing on people that financially, to make sure that you have the financial sources that you need. I just spoke with US Bank, who's got a loan officer there that deals with construction. And we was just talking about that very thing, people that already purchased a lot, and then maybe they're not building right now, but they're going to build later. How does that work with a builder? Because a builder is going to have some buy-in to that too, because if you've already purchased the lot, that lot's yours, but they're going to be building something that's actually theirs until you take over. So how does that work? What kind of financing does that take? And what kind of contract does that look like? So absolutely, I think you will be able to help you and benefit from this.
Thank
you. Mm-hmm.
And then we have Crystal McAfee. You're okay to talk if you want to ask your question.
I just wanted to make a comment, not really a question. I have had 2 projects funded by the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for rehabs to single-family homes being sold to low and moderate income families. But I just always feel like there's room for me to learn so much more with how vast the world of development is. And I think I'm really interested in delving into Louisville Cares money, kind of tapping into that Louisville Cares money. But that is just so much, the application process just seems so much harder than the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So just interested in seeing not only what I can learn, but what I can bring to the table to help other people.
That is awesome. Thank you, Crystal. And yes, Crystal she's a wealth of knowledge as well. So I'm glad to definitely have her on the team. And we will definitely try to dive into that Louisville Cares and see if we can meet your need on that too, and see what that process is, and see if we can find a resource or a mentor or something like that to help with that process, because that's going to help everybody. And Louisville Cares came about during the pandemic. So that's funds that's been given to the city and was set aside for the city if everybody's interested in that, and see if that can help us as well.
And I just would add to Crystal, thank you for doing what you're doing, first of all, and for adding your comment. Develop Louisville is a stakeholder that's a part of this, and we've gotten some preliminary commitments from them that one of the outcomes from this course would be for them to streamline their process for engaging or applying for Louisville Cares and other projects. So we will get a chance to hear directly from those folks at the appropriate time in the curriculum. So with that said, you're at the right place. So please hang with the process and keep doing what you're doing.
All right. I'm gonna ask my colleagues if we see any other hands raised that I might be missing. Anything else in the chat or QA?
I did notice, Janicia, Timothy Cox has a comment suggesting his interest in teaming up. And just want to echo that, Timothy. I don't know if you want to add any comments and let folk know who you are and why you would say you want to team up. And we'll find you and make sure that you're unmuted in case you want to say something.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead,
Can you hear me?
Timothy. Sure.
Yes, I just wanted to talk to the new developers or people with some experience. From my experience, it's better to go at it as a team. Get a lot more resources that way. So I was just, extending the olive branch to anybody that might want a team and go after some projects. Because there's plenty of land out there. There's plenty of houses still in the inventory, and I feel we can really make a difference with this program.
Thank you, Timothy. I agree with you, and I hope to see exactly that vision carry out. That when we get into the practical, there will be opportunities for individuals to team up and take on a project. And so I agree with you, but that's going to be a function of building community, to build community. So you guys got to come together, get to know each other. We will be doing some breakout work over time where you can actually get into small groups and talk amongst yourselves. And we've seen that happen before where, groups will break off into subgroups and create some real dynamic projects. So I certainly hope to see that as well. So thank you for suggesting that.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? We have the floor is yours. You can unmute you. I guess the question that I had for you to consider, we're always trying to self-assess and self-evaluate. We know that you're interested in this, otherwise you wouldn't have signed up or taken the time to do it. My question is, what about this initiative intrigues you the most? And why did you decide to take it on as something you want to learn about? Anybody want to raise their hand and answer that? Okay, we got
Stacey
one.
Taylor. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? Oh,
Yes.
great. I fixed it.
Yeah.
Stacey Taylor sent over a message through the chat.
Okay.
She says, yes, that's what I'd like to do, but needs to know how to get the funds.
Okay, yes, I see it. It says, you want to know about how to get funds. Absolutely. And that is definitely, there's several sources on how to get funds. And you do have to be prepared to get those funds. Like I said, there are hard money lenders. There's your regular bank institutes. There is your own funds. And then there is teaming up with different people, whether it's family members or other people that are like-minded that want to do the same project. Again, you do have to have skin in the game. A lot of people will tell you that you might not have to, but you really do, because if you don't, then people are able to have more, and they're going to receive more of a benefit than you will if you don't have any skin in the game. And what I mean by that is that, you know, do save up your money. Make sure that you have the credit to take a look at. Or if you have a house and have collateral, things like that. And I don't want to get into too much financial information because we're going to have a whole session on that, but just kind of giving you some ideas of what that means when you do go look for the funds, because they are going to have funds for you, but there is certain criteria that you do have to meet in order to get those funds. You do have to have a plan of action in place. It's not just, oh, I got an idea for this and I think it's a great idea, give me the money. You have to show the plan and how they're going to get their money back as well on this investment. So absolutely, there are funds out there in a couple of different sources in the different ways, but you do have to be prepared. You might have to fill out an application. Again, they might look at your credit. They might see how much funds do you have, whether that's collateral, whether that's saved up, and what can you bring to the table as well. So we'll definitely get into a lot of that, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you in knowing where to go to get funds at and what to look at and what is going to suit your needs. Because again, depends on what your time frame is and what you're trying to do. A hard money lender might be better than going to the city and things like that or whatever. So definitely we're going to dive into some resources and those avenues on how to get you ready for financials.
We had some folks that had raised their hands. Is it Shadonia Smith?
It's Shadonia Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I just wanted to say on Kevin's question about why do we join the course, I'm just interested in knowing the ins and outs of developing, period, as far as the different options of development and, you know, the whole process. So that's the reason I joined the course, and I look forward to learning as much as I can.
Thank you, Shadonia. Thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it. Anybody else want to add to that? Why you?
R. Smith has had his hand raised, so he's unmuted if he wants to speak.
It's Rachel Smith.
Rachel, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yes, Rachel T. Smith. And I've just been interested in, like I saw you put the land bank. I see, you know, I've watched some of those when they have the dollar properties or demo to deed. I really don't understand that, but want to learn more, want to see how maybe I can be part of the solution to these vacant and abandoned properties that are making the neighborhood go down, the value of the homes go down, and then looking to see how can, like some of the organizations, whether it's MPHC or what have you, how can we get more foundations and organizations involved in being part of the solution. And so just wanting to learn as much as I can so that I can share that knowledge and be part of the solution.
Thank you, Rachel. That's a great comment. And
I believe at LCCC, you all do great work.
But thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Success breeds success. So with your comment about getting other foundations on board to be a part of the solution, everybody's going to be looking at what happens with this. And I say that because we are getting a lot of eyes on it already. And I do want to extend this as an invitation that those of you who may be interested, the Greater Louisville Inc., which is our local Chamber of Commerce, has invited us to be a part of their annual meeting on March 24, because when they learned about this academy, they wanted it to be showcased as a part of their annual meeting. And I had a chance to talk to one of the leaders there. And of course, you know, the Chamber is a membership organization. They're always seeking membership, but they're extending their hand of welcome to say, come and learn more about what it means to be a member of the chamber. And if you come at the right time, which is right now, during this season, then they're willing to offer a 1-year free membership to the local Chamber of Commerce. So I just want you to take advantage of these networking opportunities as well, because again, success breeds success. And when you're involved in something that's doing well and you're doing well, then it's going to attract other resources and other assets your way. So that's what I believe. And I think that your comment is a great comment. We do want to attract more resources, but I also want everybody to know there are ample resources already aimed at the needs of our community. And we just need more people to know how to take advantage of them and leverage them. And, we want to be serious too about, building wealth. We want to look at these wealth building strategies because real estate development is a strategy for wealth development. So any other thoughts?
Tiffany,
Tiffany?
Stacy Taylor wants to know what the difference is of a hard lender.
Okay, absolutely. Like I said, I don't want to get into too much of the financials, but hard money lenders are different than your conventional financial institutes like your banks, your standard banks. Banks are governed by different rules and regulations that they have to meet as far as guidelines, and then the guidelines that they have themselves, and what their qualifications and requirements are different than a hard money lender. A hard money lender is usually putting up their own money, and they have requirements too, but normally it's not as many as a banking institute may have. Now, mind you, because of that, their fees might be different than what you would pay at a bank. So again, it just really depends, and that's just the down and dirty of it. Just really depends on what your project is, and what you're looking to trying to do, and is it worth it? Because again, like I said, everything in real estate is time. The longer you have a project on the market unfinished, is time and money out of your pocket. So not to say you want to hurry through a project, but you want to be mindful of your time, mindful, because that does play a part in your finances as well when you are looking at a hard money lender and a banking institute. But just real quick, just difference of guidelines when you're looking at a hard money lender and a regular bank.
Jamil Hope, you had raised your hand or you wanted to speak?
I just wanted to respond to Mr. Fields' question about interest and what made me register and attend. And so, I come from a background of social work and mental health, but have had an interest in real estate and development. And I could read a book or watch a YouTube or a TED Talk, but the opportunity to be in a space where I can ask questions and get real-time answers, long-term to get support and mentoring along the way, and all of that, at a very economical cost, was very intriguing to me. Work for Metro Government in the Housing and Support Division for the Office of Resilience and Community Services. So I've seen a lot that goes on with our homeless populations and getting people housed, and the barriers that individuals who are renting specifically come up against. And so wanting to use this as an opportunity, hopefully, to become a part of the solution on the other side. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I see and issues, and a lot of them are systemic with housing in our community, but rather than continue to try to fight against them, we got a way that we can be a part, again, of the solution. I saw this as a way to get to that place.
Well, thank you. Is it Jamel? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that comment. That's what we need, is more people like you who are on this call who want to be a part of the solution. We know that communities like ours in West Louisville, certain neighborhoods, not everywhere, have needs, and some are in pretty rough condition in terms of too many vacant units, too much blight, and but we need people who want to be a part of the solution, because that's going to be the only thing that changes is from within. We got to change from within our community. And so I'm excited by your being here and others. I wanted to introduce Angela Wilson, who is our Managing Director for Family Services. She's new to our organization, but this project, this program actually falls under her jurisdiction. So I wanted her to just have a word to introduce herself and have any comments she wanted to add.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, for introducing me. I didn't want to interrupt because this is really good information. I am excited to be at LCCC. I think I'm starting my third week, I think. Yes, this is the start of my third week, so this is brand new information. This is also something that I personally want to learn about. So I'll be learning along with the other candidates in the class because my brother was very interested in this type of work. And he passed away in April of last year, April of 21. And so when Kevin and Janicia and I were talking, I said this was a passion of his, and I was just interested in the process and how things are going. So I've been really listening to the questions because, you know, sometimes we don't even know what questions to ask. So I think that there have been great questions coming forth. And like I said, I'm going to be learning along with you. I think this is exciting work and this is needed work for what we do in our community. So I'm glad to be here. I welcome everyone, and please reach out to me if there's anything I can ever do for you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have another question. It said, will we have a direct point of contact for land bank? Don't know if we can get a direct contact, but we will do our best to have some resources for you and get all the information that we can for you. But we will definitely ask to see if we can have a direct contact. I'm not sure how their staffing is, so I can't promise that we'll have a direct contact.
And I would just add, Tiffany, and this is without, as you said, making a promise, but the land bank does fall under Develop Louisville, and their leadership is excited about the project and wants to be a resource. So I think we can just make sure that that's something that we ask about as we, you know, continue to refine the course. So, and I think those kinds of inquiries are good because part of what we're doing here is a demonstration. This is a pilot. This is the first time we've done it. So we want to make sure that we're responsive and relevant. And that means you got to tell us what you need in order for us to add value to what you need to learn. So I think we certainly welcome those kinds of comments and those kinds of inquiries.
Absolutely. And Dominique Davis had a question too. He said, which Chamber of Commerce was offering the membership? That was the GLI.
Yeah, Greater Louisville Inc., GLI. Dana Johnson manages their diversity, equity, and inclusion, and she's extended that opportunity. They, again, are going to be a part of what we're doing in some aspects. So what we can do is get more information about what it takes to leverage that membership. Anybody else? Well, Janicia, I think we've covered most of what we needed to cover tonight. Again, you know, even though we're virtual folks and everybody's muted and you can't hear the applause that normal for these kinds of things, but I just want you all to join us in thanking Dominique Higgins. You know, she's done a great work with her book, and when you read it, you'll see the value in that. She's going to be checking in on us from week to week over this course and sharing, and hopefully we'll keep her connected. She's on a different time zone, so and she's got a full plate as well. But Dominique, I just say thank you again. Can we put the cover up on the screen of the handbook? I was just looking for it in my file. Denise, I don't know if you could pull that up.
Yeah, let me
one
see
of
if I
us
can
can.
pull
Yeah.
it up right now.
But I just wanted to us as a community to say thank you. To know that we're connecting with you in Southern California. And I planted the seed for the Derby thing, so we know that you're gonna have a reason to come our way in a few weeks, and you know. But yeah, this will be the workbook, and as well as there's another 7 steps handbook. The workbook is excellent, and we're going to be using it as throughout this course to work everybody through all these steps. Any other comments, Dominique, from you?
Oh, perfect. Thank you. No other comments from me. Yeah, I just think that I want to encourage you to think outside the box as you approach this entire thing. Real estate, one of the beautiful parts about this industry is you can really make anything out of it. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. So, and I mean that by saying it doesn't have to be just residential or commercial or just industrial. It can be, maybe your thing is you want to invest in music studios there, or you want to invest in having artist spaces in your local area. So I really encourage you to think outside of the box. And even if you feel like you personally aren't in a position to kind of step out and really put yourself fully into real estate development, also connect with Tiffany in terms of thinking about how you can apply these principles to your first home. Like, there are many more programs available to get you in a house than there are to actually help you develop a project. And so that's also a very open avenue, is just buying a fixer and then doing all these different things to it to really improve the value and increase the cash flow. And you can kind of use that as a stepping stone to then apply everything that you learn here. So I think that's another thing that I really want to leave you guys with. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see how everyone comes out of this. Definitely encourage all of you to network. I would emphasize that people is really a huge component in this business, and really networking and taking advantage of the free year membership at the Chamber of Commerce. That's really huge, because that's connections. I want you to think of people and connections and knowing people and relationships as what's going to help you moving forward, because this is not a vacuum. It takes a village and more to do anything. So I think that's something too that you want to definitely keep in mind as well. Yeah.
So, hey, Dominic, I do have a question. I noticed there's another screen that has your name on it, but it has a gentleman's face.
Yes, yeah. So that's a private equity firm that I'm currently working with right now. So
okay.
yeah. So I don't know, it must have got crossed when I was doing work out of his platform, but
Well, it got my attention because I heard you say before that you were from a family of real estate developers, and I was wondering if that was one of your family members. But can you talk a little bit about your family?
Yeah, absolutely. No, so he's not part of my family. He's just a client. But yeah, it's a kind of fun story. So my mom, so single mom, she got into real estate very early on back in the 80s. So she's done everything from construction to mortgages to being a real estate agent and then becoming a broker. And so using her experience, she got started doing her own real estate development projects. And so she made a lot of very cool connections throughout Southern California. She connected with a lot of Chinese developers who literally were new to the country, were kind of figuring stuff out, and she helped them a lot. She connected with just a lot of just international developers and investors. She connected with a lot of people within the community, so police, firefighters, so on and so forth. And through that, I mean, growing up, that's all I pretty much know is just, so she did development projects. My stepfather, he did a lot of development projects. We've just kind of been in the business, so many different aspects of construction, project management, so on and so forth. So it's kind of something that I've been very blessed to be around. And so I have like I'm aware of my comfort level is definitely higher, but I do encourage you to know that it's all learnable. Like this is all, it's really an art to it. And it's so long as you have fun with it and you're nice and you're willing to work with people and build relationships and make sure those relationships benefit everybody involved. I mean, that's really all you really need to it to make it happen. So yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I'll give it back to Janicia to get ready to wrap us up. I know she's got some other things to cover just on her side. So Janicia, thank you for getting us together tonight. And we look forward to being back. I look forward to watching from the other side of the screen as a student of this process on Wednesday. But thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you, and thank you to Dominique, and of course to Tiffany, to my colleagues Carmen and Angela, as well as Mr. Fields. So we will be meeting back on this same link on Wednesday. You will receive an email with the recording as well as the syllabus for you all to view. And in that syllabus, it has everything that you will need for this course and how to move forward. So if you all have any questions, we'll drop our emails into the chat. But we hope to see you all on Wednesday.
Any final comments, Tiff?
Just want to say, this is going to be wonderful. It's going to be exciting. And also make sure that you do get the workbook because there's a lot of great information. Not only is great information, but it's kind of like the how-to and the steps and things like that. That's going to make you think. And you can write down your notes. And one of the things that happens is when you write something down, it becomes more tangible, more of a reality, and you can see exactly where your thoughts are and where you're going with it, and it makes more sense. So I encourage everybody, make sure, hey, investment, $5 to get that workbook and that information, because we're definitely going to be using it, definitely. So yeah, everybody just be thinking about it. Do your homework ahead of time, look through it, read it, start thinking about it so we can have that open, honest discussion when we come back on Wednesday.
Thank you. And one thing we may not have mentioned that Carmen's role as our coordinator of adult programs is to be our financial coach. And so if anybody needs any assistance with financial management, everything from just basic budgeting to credit counseling to just the basics of financial literacy, Carmen has a skill set in that area, and we can take you into that course offline. Again, I just want to say thanks to everybody. I'm sure that this is a success story in the making, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to encourage and challenge everybody to hang in there over the next, I'm going to say 10 weeks, and hang in there and show up, be consistent. And also, because tonight is an information session, the course actually begins on Wednesday. It's not too late to help spread the word. So if you want to share the information with some other folks to be ready to go on Wednesday night, it will be a good thing for you to do. But thank you all.
Bye, guys.